Our next, an eliminator here for the WBC World Flyweights title. Jorge Arce stepping up from light fly to the 8-stone division for the first time after a fine career as WBC and WBO world champion. But Hussein's proven in world class too. His only defeat came in a previous WBC title shot at flyweight. Let's rejoin Adam and Jim for the start.
Decent little matchups have been appearing stateside of late, attempting to give the business a big boost, and this looks to have all the right ingredients. Let's hope so, as Jorge Arce moves into unknown territory. The long-reigning world flyweight kings now campaigning at 8 stone, and his first engagement looks a tricky one against Australia's Hussein, who started fast.
Yep, looks to be trying to make an early impression, digging him into the body.
Oh, big left hook
up
to the head and body from Arce, and suddenly Hussein is on the retreat. Well, he went in from the opening bell, and he's now walked into a thunderous start from Arce. Was he badly hurt?
He was badly hurt. I mean, it's a pity because his chin was down. He was trying to make an early impression, but he was doing it properly. So it just shows, even doing things properly in this business, you can end up on your backside if you're not careful. But he is badly shaken. Arce looking for an early night.
Ferocious puncher in the division below Jorge Arce with 28 knockouts. Looks at the moment like the power may have carried up.
I think he may be a better fighter at this weight because he was killing himself to do light flyweight. I mean, we saw that a few times. How he made the weight, nobody knows. So if he's not totally worn out, and he certainly doesn't look worn out at the moment, we may see the best of him now.
Look at the size of him, how broad he is in there, Jim, against the more skinny Hussein.
Yeah, Hussein is much taller, so you'll be wishing that maybe he didn't try to use his height and his reach in the early stages. Tried to make an impression, but it didn't come off.
What now will Hussein do? He's won 26 of 27, only one defeat on points to Saklek, one Jonkam, who is the leading flyweight in the world, the WBC champion. Is Hussein good enough to come again?
I think he's still in head-clearing mode at the moment. He's still fairly careful. Nice defensive stuff coming back now. His punches look a little bit better, but just as I say that, he takes another one.
Big hooks from Arce, who's got hold of the middle of the ring. Slipping his hands, Hussein looking to spear out the jab. Left hook to the body from Arce. Look, meaty blows these.
This is impressive looking stuff. I mean, boxing away from home, hoping maybe you'll find your confidence in the first round. Quite the opposite has happened to Hussein. Head, body, all the punches coming from a real experienced former champion.
Hussein trying to put his own body shots in. And a very interesting opener.
Sit down for me, okay? Water. And listen to me, okay, Huss? The only reason why he gave you a cut, you didn't hurt him. And you're punching too big, short him up. Just turn the body. Don't drop the arm. Turn the body, make him short. Hussy, he's there for the right hand all day, but something's got to come after it.
Jeff Fennick there, as loud as always.
Yeah, maybe a little bit more enthusiasm than you want at this stage. It wasn't a particularly good round for Hussein, so maybe a little bit of calming down, just some sensible advice. Just let him nurse himself into this fight, but you can see how badly shaken he was there. I mean, he didn't really make any great mistakes. He was trying to get his own punches off, and as soon as Arce saw he had the advantage, he poured it on. Now, Hussein maybe should have been looking to clinch, maybe lack of experience at this level. Clinch when you're in serious trouble.
Here's the second round, 8-stone flyweight division. The black and silver of the travelling Hussein from Sydney, Australia. And 4 years younger, but with more experience, Jorge Arce. They call him mischievous. And a pretty busy start for the man trying to add some spice into this weight class.
You can see the way Arce is digging those punches in there. Most of them are being blocked at the moment, but you can see the power that he generates. Jolting right hand lead there.
Hussein does have 20 knockouts himself, blew through his preliminary opposition. Just told off there by Vic Drakulic. Keep him up.
No, he was actually pulling down on the neck and punching at the same time. So he knows something. Oh, look, uppercut.
Again.
Referee may be a little bit busy there. Well, Hussein sets himself up nice. He's well controlled, good balance. But the early stages, it looks like the power is with the other man.
He's a world-class amateur, Hussein, but it's taken a long time for him to get here in the professional ranks. Big swinging hooks from the entertaining, crowd-pleasing Arce, who just nods at someone ringside.
Well, Hussein's brother boxed for the title last year and didn't really go for it. So I'm sure Hussein will not make the same mistake. And you have to say, not the best start, but he's giving it a go here.
He's gritted his teeth and he's come forward now, Hussein. His brother Nadal was outpointed by Oscar Larios and was negative that night. Is this more positive from his younger sibling?
Yeah, well, Hussein probably would like to be moving around the ring, get a couple of rounds in the bank. Arce hasn't allowed that. He's making him fight. But I tell you, he's handling himself well in the second round here.
It's the right hand that Jeff Fenwick was talking about. He believes Arce is open too, but look at those uppercuts being dug in. Good action.
It's good action, yeah. As I say, I'm not sure these are the tactics Hussein maybe had in his mind as he came into the ring. He's been forced to come up with this stuff, but he's come up with it well.
Flashy looking left hook from Hussein. Arce just a bit disorganised. Big puncher, the former WBC and WBO light flyweight champion, but can come apart too, did to Michael Carbajal.
See, good controlled action from Hussein. Chin down, getting the body weight forward, digging the shots in. Just keep eyes on the opponent to see what counters are coming back. Arce himself looking a little bit ragged there.
And off the ropes. We don't want to be on the ropes. Get off the ropes. Get up. I know, but still get off them. That's what we want.
Maybe a little bit more calmness in the corner would maybe get your point across better. There's no reason for panic. On my card, it's 1 round apiece. He's doing well.
It's not been a particularly rosy time for Jeff Fenwick's Australian stable, as well as Nadal Hussein. Lovemore and Doe lost to Junior Witter, Danny Green to Marcus Bayer. They badly need a win. Can Hussein get what would be the finest victory of his career? He's got to take the onslaught again from Arce.
Well schooled, he took most of that on his gloves and just stepped out of range as the punches were coming. Boxing well. Okay, he's on the defensive at the moment here, but boxing well.
Trying to dig in shots as Arce comes with that left hook to the body. Is this good defence from Hussein?
It's good defence, but he's been forced to box this way. I'm sure he would rather find himself a little bit of space. But again, turned Arce well. Got him onto the ropes now. This is good stuff from Hussein. Don't know if he can cope with this for 12 rounds, but they're certainly doing well at the moment.
Yep, the experience. Long distance fights definitely with Jorge Arce. Hasn't this started at quite a tempo, a pace? To Arce, putting the combinations together, and Hussein just has to hold on.
when you see action like this, I like to look at who finishes the round that little bit better. Sometimes that is an indication, the longer it goes, who's more suited to this kind of action. So Arce at the moment, as we're going to the last minute, coming on strongly.
How come he seems to have the physical strength, even though he's campaigned at a lighter weight for so long?
Well, maybe that's why he was so successful at the lighter weight, because he is a natural flyweight, maybe even a natural bantamweight. These 24 hours beforehand weigh-ins suit people like Arce, but he is very physically strong.
Had to move up. Had a terrible time making weight against Melker Castro for one of his defences. Really horrible scenes. Drag from the scales. Managed to win that somehow. Probably feels more comfortable.
Yeah, well, without a doubt. I think Hussein should be using the ring a little bit more. He's using the ring now, he's backing off, but he's a little bit negative. He should be doing this, coming back with some counters, using the jab. I mean, Arce's not really clever, he just comes trundling forward. So a nice boxer that Hussein could maybe punish him, that's better.
Arce lunges forward. Raises the fist. Hussein's 124th round, a stop-start career, just as Jorge Arce has some Vaseline taken from his face. It's Arce's 222nd, and they've taken a long time with Hussein to get to this point. Too late?
Yeah, well, at 29, I mean, really, you're thinking a flyweight should have made his mark. He's had one crack at the title already, and he was quite soundly beaten, put up a decent show, but they're quite convincingly beaten. But you can see, I mean, little flashes of world-class, maybe not world-class experience, but a decent little fighter. But at 29, this could be his last chance.
Right. He's a prestigious amateur. Lost at the Atlanta Olympics to Damien Kelly, who's picked up his career back home, and Hussein has fought on British shores 4 times, only once here as Jorge Arce tries to detonate the shots at him again.
See, he's been told to use the ring, but what he's doing is just backing off, and Arce is walking them down a little bit. That's not what Jeff Bennett had in mind. He wants them moving around, showing some angles, but throwing some punches. That's more like it. But he was just been walked down there for the first half minute or so.
Looking for the left hook to the body. Hussein did well to get his elbow down.
See that little step back as Arce was letting some punches go, just a little step back, then back in again with the counters. Probably wants to put a little bit more thought into what he's doing. He's just standing, fighting Arce's kind of fight at the moment. That's it, give yourself a little bit of room to work.
Marauding forward, trying to back Arce up, who's tied up in the corner. Look at that from Jorge Arce, looking for the punches from different angles.
See, boxing on the back foot's okay, but you have to produce something, and Hussein at the moment is not producing enough. Tying the Arce up, making him miss, but nothing as far as winning the round's concerned.
Arce unloads more. Hussein just glancing at Jeff Fennick in the corner. Can he withstand this fight?
Well, that was the first sign of some doubts creeping in. I know he was shaking earlier on, but he responded well from that. But the first sign of little doubts coming in there from Hussein.
Every punch thrown with such force from Jorge Arce, gritting his teeth, beckoning Hussein to train with him, who does. What a great finish to the round.
Tremendous action, but Arce is a man who makes lots of mistakes. This man with his boxing ability, Hussein should be punishing him for that, but he's fighting the wrong fight at the moment.
Well, you can see why the crowd love to watch Jorge Arce.
Yeah, well, he's all action. He's crude, very, very effective and very strong.
The safest place in the centre of the ring. Stay in the centre.
Hussein, don't jab. Do a tag. Just punch 1, 2, 3. Don't just one jab, Hussein, because you sit on your right hand on the left hook. You're going to punch him in bunches. If you're just jabbing, you step right.
Combinations, say Jeff Fennick, right?
Yeah, well, the plan is find some room, get into the centre of the ring, let the 2 and 3 punches off, not single punches. Good advice, but easier said than done.
The 43rd fight in the career of Jorge Arce from Los Mochis in Mexico, based mainly in Tijuana now. Good friend of Erik Morales. They train together. Hussein, the older man. And he's had a stop-start career. Can it get going here?
Well, this is not the style of boxing you want to show when you're trying to win a title away from home, or a final eliminator away from home, as this is. So really, if he has dreams, he better start trying to make them a reality now, put more into this.
Next time a point taken on.
Yeah, well, he's spoiling tactics. He's been holding. He's actually been doing a couple of things. He's been pulling down in the neck. So I think the referee's just maybe a little fed up all the way around.
Really questioning his desire and determination. Answers it there, Hussein. But the big power shots from Jorge Arce. Has he got to show something that his brother didn't, Hussein?
Well, he's putting enough into this, but he's using the wrong methods, I think. I mean, he's punching toe-to-toe here, which is good action, but he's the one on the ropes. So it's almost certain the judges are going to score this against him. If they both land the same amount of punches, it's almost certain the aggressor, the man who looks in the driving seat, is going to get the nod. So Hussein wants to be doing what he's good at, get out of there, use his skills a bit more.
A grueling battle has developed early. Now Hussein beckons Arce in. Is that what he should be doing?
Well, quite the opposite. What I'm noticing is Arce seems to be the one who's prepared to sustain the attacks. He can stay in there a little bit longer, probably the experience. And although he's younger, a little bit more experience, you know, bit maturity, natural strength.
Blood from the nose of Jorge Arce. Little cut there, hasn't stopped him. Coming forward, coming to fight. He loves this, doesn't he?
Yeah, well, this is his type of fight. I don't think he can believe his luck. I'm sure he would have believed he would have to go looking for Hussein. I mean, this has been a close round, but you always have the impression that Arce is the one who's been in the driving seat. He's been forcing the action, whereas Hussein has to respond.
Referee Vic Drakulic wants to look at the cut. The bridge of the nose. Jorge Arce says, okay, off we go again.
Nothing seems to trouble him.
Back with velocity and ferocity, Jorge Arce. Look at that. Machismo from the Mexican.
Well, I wonder if Hussein can produce any better work than he produced in that round. That was an excellent effort from Hussein, but for me, this fella just nicked it again with the volume of the punches he's throwing.
Doctor in again. Has been marked up before Jorge Arce. But in terms of the way the fight's developing, is he grinding down the resistance of Hussein?
Yeah, well, Hussein's still well in this fight, and this is really bad news because that's in a position which could become an awful lot worse. Okay, it's on the nose, it doesn't interfere with the eyesight. I mean, the blood should be rolling down, but that's a cut that could worsen. That's a problem.
Back to the rafters, the MGM enjoying this flyweight battle. Remember the black and red of Jorge Arce, who made 7 successful defences of his world light flyweight title, and now aiming for honours in the 8-stone division.
That was a nice little right hand. That's what Hussein wants. A little step back as Arce comes forward, then step back in again with the counters and get out again. Use some boxing skills. It's not really suiting his style to stand with this fellow. See, every time he takes a clean shot, he's hurt.
Is Hussein learning in there as he goes through? You remember the fights he had in Britain against the likes of Sean Green and Dave Colwell. Not the biggest names.
Yeah, that was a level he could do pretty much as he pleased, and he looked a little bit special at that level, but this is entirely different. He's putting up a good effort. I mean, he's giving almost as good as he's been getting in some of the rounds. This is better. Thinking what he's doing here.
The jab and the uppercut.
Now he just wants to step back again. Little drop in Arce's pace here.
Will Jorge Arce blow himself out?
See again, in, punches off, they get back out of there again. This is sensible stuff. Okay, maybe the fans aren't loving it, but much more sensible if he could get a couple of rounds in the bank just to raise his confidence that little bit.
Hussein trying to wield the hooks in. Again, the defence of the world-class amateur, getting him out of trouble for now.
But again, the experience of Arce drawing Hussein into his kind of fight, and again doing it inside the last minute.
Look at the leather being thrown. Jorge Arce, the volume of punches, and Hussein just drops down. No count taken up, but he looked pretty tired.
Yeah, but I think it was more of a push though. I mean, he's blocking a lot of these shots.
Incredible intensity inside the ring. Left hook was a good one from Arce. Back comes Hussein. Thrilling round. What about that? Well, Jim, now the fans all around us are on their feet.
Yeah, well, this is the kind of action that they want to see. They're struggling a little bit here with the bleeding there. It looks as though they had put water on the nose, which is the last thing you want to do if you're going to put the adrenaline in.
Dr. Roman Cruz trying to stem the flow of blood. Jorge Arce, who's suffered cuts before. That won't bother him. Second half of this one. Arce again comes out with the same determined enthusiasm. Timeout called. Are they going to have another look at the cut?
I think it may be too much grease on it, but yeah, they just want to get the grease away. Yeah, which is fair enough.
Will this affect Arce or not, the sort of guy he is?
I think with his temperament, no. And he's been cut before.
And as you've got it, he's up.
Yeah, but I have him 2 points up at the moment, 58-56. I mean, a real good effort from Hussein at times, but sometimes just maybe been drawn into the kind of fight he should be trying to avoid.
Hussein did go the distance with Wonjakon, but lost fairly widely on the scorecards and was down in the 11th. But Arce's been hurt late too. How has any of this taken anything out of Arce? He just keeps throwing punches.
Yeah, well, he's backing up here. He's doing it from a distance. It's not the big drives we've been seeing earlier. So this should give Hussein a little bit more time to think what he's doing. Use his long-range boxing. This is the first good sign I've seen for Hussein. Arce, without being driven back, he's electing to move back.
All of a sudden, Hussein gets hold of the ring and backs Arce up.
Well, he wants to take full advantage of this little lull. I don't know if Arce's taking a breather or if he's feeling the pace, but this is a situation where Hussein could take over a little bit, get his confidence up. This is good stuff from Hussein.
Best little phase in the fight for Hussein. Hussein, who was hurt in the first round, but withstood the onslaught, as he has for a great deal of this. What are you finding out about Hussein in there?
Well, nothing wrong with his heart, because I mean he's had to grit his teeth several times to get himself through this. This is not the kind of fight he enjoys, but he's making the best of it. We can see that nose. I don't think they're going to manage to stop the bleeding there. Well, we're in the last minute. Usually when Arce takes over, it hasn't quite happened. That was a good left hook from Arce though.
Will he drive Hussein back using that experience and know-how? Jorge Arce to the older man out of it.
Yeah, well again, significant that he's finishing round the stronger, but I think it was an excellent first couple of minutes or so from Hussein. Really boxed well, and that nose could be giving Arce further big problems.
The blood pouring down the nose now, but still he wants to go in, swing leather, trade, and show that desire.
Hussey, please, mate. Hussey, if you want to ban, he can do it now, but believe me, he's tired, Hussey, believe me. But you'll let him come back in because you give him rest. We don't need the rest. Give him the rest.
Still Jeff Fennick with the instructions, trying to get his charge. The wonderfully named Hussein, attempting to disparage Jorge Arce. There's Miguel Diaz. He's crept in the corner. All sorts of animation from that corner. We just want the fight, don't we?
Yeah, good fight it is too.
Oh, left hook from Hussein, and Arce just felt that, and will that give some confidence to the Australian?
Well, there's a lot more confidence in his boxing. I thought really boxed well the previous round, started this one well. Can he sustain it this time?
Yet back he comes with fierce determination. Hussein sucking it up, trying to get back with his own shots. He's been backed up on those ropes a lot, Jim. That's what Jeff Fennick wanted him to get away from. Yeah, is he starting to now?
Well, he did in the previous round, but not enough. He still allows Arce to dictate too much. This is better. When he's out in the centre of the ring, he has a bit of room to move, to work, and use his boxing skills.
Vying for control here in the 8th. As Jorge Arce done the better work in the first half of the fight, will Hussein come on strong? Look at this now.
Well, Hussein is trying to come forward now, which is a big plus. If he can back this fellow up, then he could take over here. Arce is not clever. He throws wide, wild punches, so to be effective he has to come forward, as he's doing now.
Hussein growing in self-belief. Does he feel he's taken Arce's best shots, and he's still in there and still in with a chance? But just as we say that, the Mexican dominance again.
Again, he's shaken by the clean punches. Every clean punch he takes, he has to clinch or get himself out of there. Again, we're seeing an example of the fact that Arce has the extra power.
Looked away there, Hussein, and nearly was made to pay. Once again, he's dabbing his nose this time. Is this a sign of inexperience as Arce puts a cluster together?
Well, when the other guy's producing some good work, it's the best time to take it all away from him, and that's what Arce has done here. Hussein was boxing well, a little bit of success, coming forward, then one punch turns it all around. I think he's maybe taking a bit of the heart out of Hussein there.
Was that low?
Neutral corner. Neutral
Was
corner.
that far?
He's been warned a couple of times for various infringements, so that's the pushing down.
Holding and punching.
Yep, well, he's pushing down on the neck as well, which is dangerous.
1 point off, and the pressure is applied again by Jorge Arce. Look at him. Well, they're loving it. Fascinating fight here in the flyweight division. Jorge Arce enters the 9th round with the same enthusiasm as he had all the way through. Is he getting to Hussein? How are you seeing it?
Yeah, well, just at a time when I thought Hussein was getting himself back into the fight, there's that point deduction. So I have 3 points in. I have 77 Arce, 74 Hussein. But I think the big problem is that Hussein's problems are getting bigger. I think the strength and maturity and the power of Arce beginning to grind him down a little bit.
Can Hussein do anything different? Arce wants to trade, of course he does. Is he starting to panic, Hussein, with these tactics?
Well, see, he's been under pressure for so much of the fight, which is why some of his defensive boxing has been untidy. He's been pulling down on Arce's head. I mean, it's intentional, I suppose, and the referee was fairly kind. He warned him a few times, so he can't argue. But it's the strength. I think that's the big problem. He's using the wrong tactics, but I don't think now he has a choice. I think he's feeling the pace, and he's just going to have to stand there and try and grind out a result. But signs are going against that.
Keeps looking at the referee at the corner. As again Arce turns up the heat. How much more has Hussein got left? This is very brave. Is there anything in his punches now?
Well, whether there is or whether there's not, they don't seem to impress Arce very much. He's coming right through. He's happy with this brawling type of fight, and Hussein is certainly coming off second best. And again, a clean punch lands, and Hussein, shaken, has to go on the defensive.
He has not stopped Jorge Arce. Phenomenally fit. Maybe he feels better at this weight. Both men must be tired, though.
Yeah, but I mean, Arce is really pretty basic. I mean, you would fancy a real quality fighter could stand him in his head. And full credit to Hussein, you couldn't really ask for more of an effort here. He's trying to turn this around. Maybe a little bit too little, too late in this round, but good effort.
Maybe if he could have some of those early rounds again, he would have used his technical skills a bit more, but he's having to rely on his heart and bravery here. Hussein to stick with Arce. Oh, left hook from the Australian. Eye-catching that was. Just seems to bounce off Arce's chin.
Yeah, and I think it must be so frustrating and demoralised for this little guy. You couldn't ask for a bigger effort, but he just can't turn back the challenge of this guy.
Una toalla, sécalo.
See, every time a clean punch lands, you see that it takes everything away from Hussein, so he's forced onto the defensive. And the fact that Arce doesn't stop throwing punches, then the rounds are going his way. Some good exchanges here where Hussein was giving as good as he was getting, but he's the one with his back to the ropes. And to win fights on the back foot, you have to do it clearly, and he's certainly not doing that.
Arce, who turned pro in January '96 at 16 years of age, and he's really operated amongst world class for almost his entire career, and that left hook was a real shaker, and Hussein in a lot of trouble at the beginning of this.
Yeah, well, a little bit of technical brilliance from Arce. I didn't expect I'd be saying that tonight, but that was a beautiful punch, timed perfectly, right on the button.
Banged his heart Hussein, as if to say, come on, try again. But they must be having an effect.
He's obviously in good shape because he seemed to have thrown most of the effects of that shot straight away. He's in good shape, but this really is developing into a real hard night's work for him. Just can't discourage Arce, and unless you have the power to do that, this fellow is a nightmare.
Flooding the shots home. Jorge Arce, Hussein bravely covering up, attempting to come back once more off those ropes.
Yeah, well, the fight is really turning against Hussein. A decent little spell, maybe around about the third and fourth round, but hasn't been able to repeat that success. Arce really loving this now.
The crowd have been entertained by an all-action affair. How can he do this in the 10th round, Jorge Arce?
And it's just amazing condition. It's the way these guys train. I mean, it's a tough school. See there again, clean punches. He's looking for the floor. That was a good left hook at a time when a guy is easily second.
Down and out. Hussein, the corner was straight in, they didn't want to see any more, and Jorge Arce has a tremendous win here in Vegas. He enters the flyweight division in style and injects more fire into it. Great stuff.
Yep, tremendous performance. He'll be looking forward. It'll take quite some time for the damaged nose to be ready for action again, but you have to give him a chance with anybody at the weight. He's determined, he's strong, he can punch, he's never say die. You couldn't ask for a better effort from Hussein, but just that little bit short at the top level, and it showed tonight.
Arce got him into a battle of wills, didn't he? And at the end, he was the physical aggressor and too strong.
Yeah, right from the early stages, Arce decided what kind of fight it was going to be, and that's what it was all the way through. So you can see, that was a little clip, that was a beautiful punch, and you can see full credit to Hussein at this stage in the fight when he must really be nearing exhaustion to take that punch and come back from it, but at this stage he had nothing left to offer. Punches weren't coming off. All he was interested in was what was coming his way. Didn't have the strength to come back with anything. And I like to see good corner. What the referee could have been stepping in here is good that the corner did.
What a terrific fight. And Jorge Arce goes onwards and upwards.
And to think he's only 25. It's been some career already. Glenn and Barry give us their view next on whether Arce might now go on to dominate at flyweight the way he did at light fly. And judging on how he enjoyed this win, he's full of enthusiasm and desire to make himself a two-weight world champion. The power seemed with him and the desire. Jorge Arce finally breaking Hussein's resistance in the 10th. This stablemate of Erik Morales winning the way the Mexicans love to see it done. What a chief supporting contest, Barry. But did you think it might actually be over inside of maybe the first round?
Yeah, well, Hussein was nailed with a really good left hook, and Arce looked so much bigger than we saw him last year. He's a light flyweight, he's filled up, he's so much stronger, almost seemed like a different guy completely. That left hook was just fantastic. And I mean, Hussein looked like he was out of it at this stage.
Hussein he'd come in with too much confidence, really. He walked straight on to that left hook, and Arce really came on very strongly there. Some excellent punches. That was, that was the little thing he really wanted in this fight. A mistake from Hussein so early on.
Welcome back to the big time then, young man. Now, Hussein did recover, get through that, and he did have his moments, but through the fight, was he fighting the right fight to give himself a good chance?
Before the fight, you would have said Hussein, the very good boxer, he'll use his height, he'll use his reach, he'll try and dominate the fight from long range,
and he
center
did
of the
steady
ring.
himself.
And at times he did that, at times he pushed Arce
but he's a
back.
Tough Australian, he's a tough cookie, he likes to fight coming at you. He likes to fight coming at you.
But the problem was, this is a tougher Mexican, Barry.
Well, this is
he always had more Arce,
he found this out too late, and he kept that, he's got plenty of go to, he's a really tough guy.
On
he
the
wanted
rope,
to come back.
time and time again. Instead of just pivoting, moving around, he stayed on the ropes.
totally the wrong
And was that
tactic.
orders from Fenwick, do you feel?
Well, I can't believe that he would have told him to be there, because that's the wrong fight altogether. That doesn't suit him.
Well, he
I just
probably
think
thought the
got
guy's coming
trapped
up in
there.
weight, you see, Glenn, and he thought, well, you're a big, solid flyweight,
But
you'll be able to hurt this
is
guy.
a man that a 16-year-old was a flyweight.
This might have cost Arce
very
so
nasty
dearly,
cut
the cut
that.
there.
But he went through it, and he was, as you say, Paul, just implacable, relentless, never left the guy alone, backed him up. Because Hussein wasn't backing off,
This was
he
perhaps
just kept on.
Hussein's best period here, Barry. Did
Yeah.
you think for a moment, well, actually, it's going to work for him?
Yeah, well, he was looking good at making a lot of the rounds close and box fighting well, but he just kept doing
There's a
the
big
same
shot
thing.
here which perhaps put him back on the back foot terminally.
He was hurt a few times during the fight. This is where he had to grab, he had to hang on. You can just tell the strength was just starting to dwindle from Hussein. Another big left hook there from Arce.
Certainly the way he poured it on late on, but for the condition of Hussein, Barry, do you think it might have actually been finished earlier than it was in the 10th?
Tremendously tough guy, very tough, very strong, in great condition, but if used the wrong tactics, and finally he was going to get to him, and it happened, in the 10th round. The round started off with a great left hook. He walked him onto it as Hussein was coming forward, nailed him with that left hook, and had him staggering at that stage. And then again, once he knew he was in trouble, he never left him alone. And this finish here was fantastic.
It's going to be hard
Left hook up, right hand
anybody
down.
in the division to withstand this sort of ferocious pressure. I mean, there's something about this guy. He's only 26-year-old.
He
He's
loves
been
it.
fighting in world class for 8 years. He turned pro as a 16-year-old. It's remarkable how he's still going. And look at his face and look at the way he fights. You have to say he looked very much like a cross between Johnny Tapia and Roberto Duran in his heyday.
Speaking of the big names, we see Arce coping so well with a step up in weight there, Barry. Back to the top of the bill. Manny Pacquiao stepped up to super featherweight. With hindsight, great fight though it might have been, was it the right thing?
I think he had to have a go at it. He can always come back down to featherweight. There's the return with Marquez. There's always a chance of fighting Scott Harrison or Injin Chi, but he can always come back down to featherweight, and he can fight equally as good as super feather.
How about Erik Morales? Where's his standing now, Glenn? You know, Julio Cesar Chavez Sr. was watching at ringside. His son was in action. But can Morales now claim to be up historically with the greatest of
Most
Mexican
definitely. He's
fighters?
probably not quite at that legendary status of Chavez, but he's getting there. There's still a lot more fights in Morales. We saw that.
Last word on Morales from you, Barry.
He's one of the greatest fighters I've ever seen. Certainly one of the best Mexicans of all time, up there with Julio Cesar Chavez, Marco Antonio Barrera.
And he has thrilled us all over again. Thanks to Glenn and to Barry. Hope very much you've enjoyed it with us too. Our next live action looks like being another outstanding matchup at super featherweight. It's the Scotsmen, Alex Arthur and Craig Doherty. They meet for the British and Commonwealth titles. It's set for Edinburgh and it's live on Friday fight night. Sky Sports 1, April the 8th from 10 p.m. Don't miss it, please. But surely, at super featherweight right now, everyone, everywhere, is still looking up to Erik Morales.